There was a time when a 5-pound bag of potatoes and a little bit of nothing could feed a whole family for a week, and nobody went to bed hungry. Our grandmothers didn't have DoorDash. They didn't have $20 takeout. What they had was an empty wallet, a hot stove, and a kind of quiet genius that turned the cheapest vegetable on earth into meals people still remember 50 years later. But here's the part that'll surprise you. Some of these dinners have almost completely disappeared. Recipes that fed millions through the Depression, through hard winters, through paydays that came a week too late, gone, forgotten, replaced by frozen dinners and food that costs 10 times as much and tastes half as good. So today, we're bringing them back. 12 forgotten poor man's potato dinners our grandmas swore by. And I promise you, number 4 fed more starving families than almost any other dish in American history. And number 1 is so simple you'll wonder why you ever stopped making it. Grab a cup of coffee. Let's get into it. Number 12. Poor man's potato soup. We start where every grandmother started when the cupboard was bare. A pot of water, a few potatoes, 1 onion, and whatever fat she had left in the can by the stove. No cream, no cheese, no fancy broth. Just potatoes simmered soft until the starch itself thickened the water into something warm and silky. A splash of milk if you were lucky, a crack of black pepper if you had it. They called it hard times soup, and it kept people alive. The secret? You mashed a few of the potatoes right in the pot, so the soup thickened itself. Costs about 50 cents to make today, and 1 bowl still tastes like being tucked in on a cold night. Number 11. Fried potatoes and onions. If your grandmother had a cast iron skillet, she had this. Thin sliced potatoes and onions, fried slow in a little grease until the edges went golden and crackly and the kitchen smelled like heaven. That was dinner. Not a side, dinner. Maybe an egg on top if the hens were laying. The trick nobody remembers anymore is patience. You don't stir it every 10 seconds. You let it sit, let it crust, then flip it in sheets. That crust is where all the flavor hides. Number 10. Potato pancakes from last night's mash. Nothing got thrown away in Grandma's kitchen. Leftover mashed potatoes weren't leftovers. They were tomorrow. She'd mix them with a beaten egg and a spoon of flour, pat them into little cakes, and fry them crisp in a hot pan. Golden on the outside, fluffy in the middle. Kids fought over these. Serve them with a bit of applesauce or a runny egg, and you had a meal that cost you absolutely nothing, because it was already paid for. Number 9. Poor man's potato and egg skillet payday was still 3 days away, but 2 things were always in that house: potatoes and eggs. Grandma diced the potatoes small so they cooked fast, browned them in the skillet, then cracked the eggs right on top and let them set. Some folks scrambled it all together. Either way, it was hot, filling, and on the table in 15 minutes. This one raised entire generations. And it still beats anything you'll find in a drive-thru. Number 8. Colcannon, potatoes and cabbage. This one came over on the boat with our Irish grandmothers, and it saved lives during the leanest years. Mashed potatoes folded together with buttery wilted cabbage or kale. That's it. Cabbage was practically free, potatoes were cheap, and together they made a mountain of food that stuck to your ribs all night. She'd make a little well in the center and drop in a pat of butter to melt. And if there was butter that week, that was the whole celebration right there. Number 7. Creamed potatoes in milk gravy. When there was no meat, Grandma made the gravy anyway. Boiled potatoes, sliced, then simmered gently in a simple white gravy of milk, flour, salt, and pepper. Poured over bread or biscuits, it was pure comfort, soft, warm, and just rich enough to feel like a treat. They called it poor man's stew in some houses. No beef required. And honestly, some of us still crave it more than the real thing. Number 6. German fried potatoes with bacon ends now. Grandma didn't buy bacon. She bought bacon ends, the scraps the butcher couldn't sell, sold cheap or given away. She'd render those ends down, then fry potatoes and onions right in that smoky fat until every slice was coated in flavor. A few crispy bacon bits scattered on top, and suddenly the poorest meal on the block tasted like the richest. That's the whole philosophy, isn't it? Make the cheap thing taste expensive. Number 5. Potato and bean supper. When even potatoes had to stretch further, she reached for a can of beans or a pot of dried ones soaked overnight. Baked potatoes split open, a ladle of seasoned beans poured over the top, maybe a sprinkle of whatever cheese was hardening in the back of the icebox. Protein, starch, and warmth for pennies a plate. It doesn't sound like much, but on a cold Tuesday with no money left, it was a feast. Number 4. The poor man's meal. Here it is, the one I told you about. During the Great Depression, this dish quite literally kept families alive when nothing else was on the table. Diced potatoes, sliced onions, and a few cut-up hot dogs, the cheapest meat money could buy, all fried together in one skillet until everything caramelized into one glorious, greasy, golden pan of dinner. President Reagan actually talked about eating this as a young man during the hard years. Millions did. One skillet, 3 ingredients, a whole family fed. If you make only one dish from this list, make this one. Number 3. Scalloped potatoes. No meat needed. Layers of thin sliced potatoes, a little flour, a little butter, and milk poured over the top, baked slow until bubbly and golden brown. It came out of the oven looking like company food, like something you'd serve on Sunday, but it cost almost nothing. Grandma knew that presentation mattered. A humble dish that looked generous made everyone at the table feel taken care of. Number 2. Potato dumplings in broth. When the soup pot was thin, Grandma made it heartier the only way she knew, dumplings. Grated raw potatoes squeezed dry, bound with a little flour and egg, rolled into balls, and dropped into simmering broth until they floated to the top, pillowy and tender. They soaked up every drop of flavor and turned a watery broth into a meal that could feed twice as many mouths. Pure resourcefulness in a bowl. Number 1. Poor man's potato cakes with onion gravy, and here it is, number 1. The one so simple you'll kick yourself for forgetting it. Grandma mixed grated or mashed potato with an egg and a handful of flour, fried the patties crispy and gold, then smothered them in a rich onion gravy made from nothing but onions, flour, water, and a little seasoning. Crispy, savory, warm, and filling. A full dinner built from what most people would throw away. This is the meal that defined an entire generation's idea of comfort, and it's waiting for you to bring it back to life tonight. 12 dinners. 12 grandmothers who could do more with a bag of potatoes than most of us can do with a full fridge. These weren't just recipes. They were love, stretched as far as it could go. So here's my question for you. Which one did your grandma make? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this brought back a memory or two, do me a favor and hit that like button, because it tells the algorithm to show these forgotten recipes to more folks who miss them. Subscribe, and stick around, because next time we're digging up the forgotten bread recipes that fed America through its hardest years. Until then, go make something warm.